What if you hosted an event and you actually got referrals before the event ever took place? A lot of times I talk to people and we talk about getting referrals at the event. We talk about getting referrals after the event. What if you could literally walk into the event, but you already have like 11 referrals in your pocket before the event even starts? Would that be a good event? So that is what we're going to learn from our guest today.
Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Welcome, everyone, to another amazing episode of Referrals Podcast. I welcome you here today. What if you could literally walk into the event, but you already have like 11 referrals in your pocket before the event even starts? Well, what if it got better and you ended up getting 12 at the event, and then you ended up with 29 after the event? That would be a pretty good event, would you guys say? And what if this didn't cost you very much? And what if you had help putting it on? And what if you did this in a park on a beautiful day with great people that you know, and it literally was best day ever? Would that be a good setup? So that is what we're going to learn from our guest today. Now, before I jump into that, I've got to give a shout out to Gina Miller. Gina Miller is an agent out of Cary, North Carolina. She's been a member of the Generosity Generation for over 4 years and finally decided to jump into a class with us. 4 years she was listening and learning, and she finally jumped in 110% in a networking mastery class, and she is rocking it already. Gina, welcome. And also, Gina, I hope to see you in Event Mastery, which starts on October 7th. For those of you listening, Event Mastery starts October 7th. It's making money. We're going to show you how to do a zero-based or even profit center event where you make money. And then you also generate referrals for yourself and the sponsors who partnered with you. Plus, you're going to help the charity. You're going to help the community. You're going to have a lot of fun, and everybody that attends is going to have a lot of fun and love you. Need I say more? Eventmastery.com. Make sure you check that out when you get a second. Speaking of checking things out, you have an opportunity today to check out Steve McIlvaine. He is a seasoned real estate professional with Keller Williams United in Falls Church, which serves both Virginia and DC. With more than a decade of experience, he's built a reputation for relationship first service, strong negotiation skills, and helping clients make wise wealth building decisions through real estate. He's helped hundreds of families with their real estate needs and has earned over 185 five-star reviews on Google and Zillow. Steve has consistently been named top realtor with Northern Virginia Magazine and the Washingtonian. He and his wife, Sarah, have 2 daughters. Steve is also actively involved in his community, serving as a soccer coach, a deacon in his church, and has taken on numerous roles in his neighborhood and community. And Steve recently hosted his very first Event Mastery-based event this summer, a park event that not only exceeded expectations, but generated referrals before, during, and after the event. Today, he's here to share how he did it, exactly how he did it, and what he learned along the way. Without further ado, let's welcome Steve McIlvaine to Referrals Podcast.
Thank you, Michael. It is an absolute honor to be on here with you. I really have adopted the whole 7 levels of communication, and I'm in coaching with Tommy. I am very, I just, the referral model has just made so much sense to me over the years. And you've put together a system that is duplicatable and implementable. And so I'm glad to be here with you.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm going to ask you a question on that if you don't mind, right?
Sure.
Is so if you had to explain like what we do at Referco, like what is the system? If you had to just explain it to like another agent or somebody in your office or your team leader or another realtor, like how would you explain like what you're doing?
So I think that there's two different ways of growing the business, transactional model or relational model. And the relational model is work your database, work it well, love on it, show them a lot of value, give, and then just ask occasionally. And then with the referral mastery, the program is, I love how it's broken up into segments basically. Time mastery, event mastery, 30 mornings. It's just the summer challenge. That was fun. Did that this summer. And it's just these snippets of how to break down the referral process in manageable chunks that isn't easy, but it is simple. And
Mm,
it is something that once you do it, you don't want to go back to doing anything else.
yeah.
That's how I'd say.
Yeah, I love it. I appreciate that because I've always wanted to kind of describe people's system. I've been through everything. So I always like my mentally, I was always trying to get it down to like one or two sentences. How would I describe it? Like, what would that system be? And it's helped me kind of simplify things over the years. So I honestly was just genuinely curious as to because you're also a logical, chronological mind, right? You're not kind of all over the place. You think very sequentially. You think in systems. So I just
Totally.
like,
A
yeah,
DC on the disk profile.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
So all
totally.
right, I'm gonna jump right into um the juice, right? Right
Okay.
into the meat. And instead of going, I could ask about your 10 years and ask about like, how you came to this relational model over the transactional model and kind of how now you're even fulfilling a transformational model, right? So I believe it's, transactional, relational, and then the best is transformational, where you transform the lives of the people who go through your system, go through your assembly line of love. They go through your value added client experience. And so was this your very first event running it the event mastery system way?
Yes.
All right. What made you decide to finally jump in and do it?
So I had read 7L multiple times, and then I found it on audio on Audible, I guess this spring, and I decided to just make a decision, and I wanted coaching around it because the book, it's a short read, but man, there's so much in there, and it's helpful to have that accountability piece. And so I had a session with Tommy, talked with him, and then said, "All right, let's do this." So he's been my coach. And then the first module was event mastery once
Okay.
I started, and that's why. So I just plugged right into it. And I
Yeah.
had already had my event scheduled. And so I thought, well, this is great. Then I can actually take a professional system and use it to execute on my event.
Yeah, and I love that combo because earlier you said you were a DC in the
Yeah.
DISC, right? So perfect is the enemy of done for you, right?
Mhm.
You want things perfect, so you kind of maybe sometimes hesitate to do them because they're not perfect, right? Well,
That's a good
now
point.
you're like, all right, I'll tap into the perfect system, and that allows me to get things done, right? To do things along the way. And I would guess you were probably a solid implementation machine during
Yeah,
the 8 weeks. Yeah,
totally.
right.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what that having the details, and this is just something for all the DCs that are listening, is having the details taken care of will allow you to soar to so many new heights because otherwise you're trying to get things done and you're also thinking about the details. Well, there's so many details that you can never get all the details done. So you get into this never ending cycle of non completion, right? So or pure procrastination because you give up before because you know you're going to get into this never ending cycle of details. So I love, we've taken care of the details. You don't have to think like a C. You can just be a D. And so I love that
Yeah.
you just went and did it. And I have to tell you something before we get into like the event you did is I have to give you huge kudos because and the beauty is you didn't know this and I don't tell people before the summer event. The hardest event to get referrals at is the summer event.
Mm.
The easiest is the fall event, which we're coming up with event mastery where we're going to do a lot of pie days, a lot of pumpkin days, a lot of photos with Santa, a lot of like breakfast with Santa. Like we're going to help. Well, those events typically will get the most referrals. The spring event. Well, spring people are thinking about real estate. They're more thinking about it, right? They've been in their home for 3 straight months and ready to get out a little bit, right? So the spring events tend to be the second best in terms of like referral generation, pure numbers. And then summer, people are on vacation. They're
Mm.
out. They're
Right.
thinking about school. They're already in for school. There's all these things about the summer event that make it sometimes the toughest to get referrals at. But here you are, you literally like kicked butt for a summer event. And I just have to give you kudos right out of the chute. And people need to understand that while they're listening to this conversation is that these numbers were done in maybe some of the most difficult circumstances. So
Wow.
I absolutely love that. So all right,
Thanks.
so walk us through your summer park event. What did it look like, and what made it special to the people who attended?
Sure. So, DC area, Northern Virginia, everybody's busy. And yes, people go on vacation, and the summer is just a chaotic time. So, I wanted to have something that people would want to circle on their calendar. And I thought, okay, where are my people located? And what is the best location near them where they would do something that they would be willing to spend an afternoon doing something that they probably wouldn't do for themselves. And so
Hmm.
there's a great park, Lake Fairfax. The Fairfax County park system in Northern Virginia is really strong. And this one park worked really well for me because I knew I would have a lot of people and I needed a big canopy and I needed good outdoor space. And so that park was great, and it served a portion of my clientele that are a little bit further away from me, not far, like 20 minutes or so. And it got more people from a little bit more of the outlying areas to come in. And still, all my people who are in my tribe who are live close to me came out to it. So it really worked out well.
I
Um,
love it. What day
yeah,
did you do it?
it was a Saturday.
Okay. What time?
Let's see. Gosh, 1 to 4.
Okay. And
It was
you
hot.
had a one
It was
what?
hot. It was
And it
hot.
was
That was
hot.
one thing. Yeah.
What actual day did you do it? What day of the month? What was the date?
July, July. When was ice cream day? Because it was a week before.
19th, 20th, 21st. So the
So it was
20th?
the 12th. It was the 13th, the 12th or
Okay.
13th of July. It
Yeah.
was one week
So
before the end of Event Mastery.
yeah, so it's going to be hot, right? It's going to
Yeah.
be hot pretty much anywhere in the United States. So, all right,
Yeah.
and then so I love that. What and I love that you thought about the location. You're like, what's the easiest thing for everybody to get to, and that was part of it. And you kind of honed in on Lake Fairfax, and also it had a canopy and a place for you to kind of get in the shade and camp out. What did you do at the event? Like what if I were, what were the benefits of me being in your sphere for coming to this event? Why would I come?
So we had great food. We had catering, barbecue. and had a lot of pulled pork and chicken and fruits and salads and drinks. Just a really good time. We had outdoor games, so I just ordered a whole bunch of stuff that I can use going forward. So we got ring toss and potato sack races, and which was super fun. What else? Multiple other like outdoor games. But then for the kids, and I hired somebody, Yoser, who was absolutely fantastic, and we had little canvases for kids to paint on, blank t-shirts for people to
Mm,
paint. And surprisingly, the parents were competing and trying to get the best painting. So it was a lot of fun. The kids had a blast. It was not expensive. That material, like the materials that you needed for that, the canvases, the paints, and the paintbrushes, and the t-shirts, it wasn't that much. But boy, people had a lot of fun, and people were holding up their shirts with pride. So there was that. We had music, and then some. We also had cornhole there too as well.
for
So
sure.
great.
What did you actually name the event? What was the name of the event?
Lakeside barbecue and fun.
So it wasn't Steve's client appreciation party.
No, and Michael, I knew through event mastery that that needed to change, because I have branded myself really well with my MHT logo. It's got really unique colors, orange, green, and yellow. I always have signs at events. And Tommy said, I knew it. I asked a question that I knew the answer to. I said, Tommy, I shouldn't be bringing my sign, should I? And he goes, no, make it about the people. And so I
Yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah, I love it. Well, what
Yeah.
other parts of the event mastery system did you kind of lean on the most to make sure your event was successful?
Everything, and I mean that. So I truly implemented all of it. And I'm looking forward to the next time because I know I'll do it better. Greenvelope was
Hmm.
great because that's where a lot of the pre-referrals happened by asking smart questions for people, giving them an opportunity to support my sponsors. I said, okay, if I'm to do a seminar on estate planning or buying or selling, different things like that, what would you be interested in? And then the other question of, if you knew someone looking to move or something like that. But it really turned out well because before the event, I had seven referrals for my sponsors, five for
All right, hold
me.
on, hold on. I gotta just point that out, right? So imagine you're a sponsor. Let's say I'm a lender, and you came to me and said, "Hey, I'm doing a barbecue in the park. I'd love for you to sponsor this event." Now, 100% of that lender's experience with sponsoring other things was show up at the event, build relationships, and you might get some business out of it. Maybe, right? Maybe. And honestly, sometimes you're not even doing it for that if you're a lender or a title company or a warranty rep. You're doing it for the relationship with the realtor, right? But
Hmm.
what you're telling me, Steve, is that I'm a lender. I signed up to sponsor with you before the event even happened. You had referrals for me. Is that what you're telling
Correct.
me?
That's correct.
Do you
Yes.
were the sponsors happy?
They were surprised.
Yeah, yeah. So seven already before the event, right? Seven.
Five for me,
And five for you. You already had five incoming referrals for yourself.
and then
And
nine for seminar opportunities.
and your call to action, you really wanted to know like how many wanted like a wealth building or a buyer or home seller seminar, right? So
Correct.
that was your call to action. That was really is almost like the reason for your event, right? Is let's funnel them to the event and then filter them to the seminar if they want to have it. Now, could you
Right.
imagine most people would be like, I want to have a home buyer seminar, so I'm just going to invite everybody to a home buyer seminar. Well, then it tanks. You don't get anybody that signs up or anything because you don't know there's any demand for it.
Right.
Whereas
Right.
what you've done is you're like, well, I'll get everybody to this, give value, and then I'll ask if they want this. If they want it, I'll do it. And what you discovered is that they did want you to do it, right?
Right. Yep.
But who are you going to invite? Are you going to invite everybody? No, you're probably most likely going to invite the, what is it, 16, 29? I mean, 29 people, and you're going to get 25, 26 of them to attend because they asked for it.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
It,
I
it
love
was,
it.
it was, it was, it, I have never executed well before an event. I've let the invitation serve most of the purpose, and then I'll make calls around it. I knew that in order for this thing to work with your system, I needed to clear part of my calendar to implement these steps. And so the invitation stage with the voice text and the text message and the call and then the follow-up emails, um, the response rate was really high as a result.
Mm.
I mean, really high. So so those were the things that I would say I leaned on prior to the event. And then during the event, the door prize system. That was a lot of fun. I it just happened to hop on the in this with Dora and Amazon Prime Day, and so I got four or five of those things. One of them was that TV that you talk about, and so a big
Yep.
deal about it. They filled out the form. I had someone at the registration table who was responsible for collecting those and making sure everybody knew what was going on at the event, and it allowed me to circulate among everybody. So I had somebody coordinating the games and activities, and then I had my sponsor helped with getting the food set up, and then the door prize person, that was her responsibility. And then as after everybody was there, then she circled the room and built relationships. So yeah, so that was a great thing. And then during the event, got three more referrals for sponsors. Two of them came just through the sponsor buzzing through the room, and th they picked up two opportunities there. And then there was another one on the door prize form. Three more referrals for me during the event, and seven more opportunities for seminars.
I love it. And all right, so how many people did you invite and how many attended?
I had invited a lot more than I should have. It
Mm.
was hard to manage it. So I did the 150 through Greenvelope, which are my best people.
Yep.
Not best people, but the people who they've referred, they've been past clients, they're like my true advocates. And then there's the other folks in my database who I may not know where I stand, and so this was an event to invite them to see if they came. I will tell you, I didn't know you were going to ask that, so I have that
Yeah.
number. Give me a moment and I'll pull that up
Yeah.
for you. Um,
Yeah. Or
but
just give
we
me
had
an
120 people show up. I know that
love it.
that was kids and adults. And then we had, you can ask me another question. I'm going to pull that my sheet up.
Well, I think the big thing is so you invited your VIPs, but you decided to make an all yap out of it as well and invite like everyone in your sphere,
Yeah.
which, you know,
Yeah.
maybe 2,000 people, right? Um, but that does lead to like how many, what percentage of the 120 that attended do you think were your advocates?
60%.
Okay. All right. So 60% were advocates and 40% came from, and here's what's great about that. The 40% that came out of the general pop are now advocates,
Exactly. Yep.
right? Right. So you've grown your 150 to another 50, right? Now you have your kind of your magical 200 number and you're off and running. So I
And then
love
the
that.
guests too. I love the with the invitation PS to make sure that assumptive, hey, invite somebody. That was huge. That I had some really nice guests there, and I've had one-to-ones or phone calls with them since.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah.
How did you feel leading up to the event? Were you nervous? Were you excited? Were you unsure? And like, how did those feelings shift over time?
I actually felt pretty good. And
Yeah.
other events I haven't. And this was actually more involved because of the kids' activities and implementing your system on the door prizes, etc. But I felt like I was ready. I didn't feel there were other events where I felt very unsure of. This one I felt pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. So instead of being unsure, you really felt confident, right? You felt
Yeah,
good. You were following the system, and like everything from the system feels pretty logical. It's like, yeah, this is a good thing. Yeah, this is a good thing. This
yeah,
isn't taking anything away from anybody. This isn't being a taker, right? Like a decision where you made about not having your sign. If you had your sign, you might have felt like, is this too much or what? And it's like, all right, when in doubt, leave it out, and
yeah.
and and you were probably more attractive by not having your sign, you know. So, what you said that you had people helping with it. Is that something that you had done before, or did you
Oh,
learn
yeah.
the who is not you in event mastery and really ran with it?
Yeah. We've done wine tastings at our house in the past, and we've done other really big events. And so that nailing the who at an event is really, really important. And so knowing that I needed somebody to take care of the door prize table, knowing that I needed to have somebody running the events, that was really important. And then the sponsors, while I didn't ask them, they just pitched in when the food arrived and set it up. And that was really fantastic. So.
Yeah,
Um, I sometimes have a hard time asking for help,
for sure.
and right, and so it was cool that they pitched in.
Well, what did you find out
Yeah.
about them though, right? And you're like me. I have trouble asking for help as well. But what do you discover about people when they do get to help? What did you discover about them?
Oh my God. Well, you feel you have a huge sense of gratitude for them pitching in, and I think when people do things that they're not asked to do, they elevate in your mind as far as just the quality of person they are.
Yeah,
You know,
for
I
sure.
coach
And how do they
soccer.
feel?
What's that?
And
And
how do
and
they feel?
well, they feel great to be able to pitch in and help me out, you know?
Yeah.
I coach soccer and I have kids on my team. And when parents chip in to help out or offer to like deconflict team jerseys or making sure that the food and drink is there. Last week, my assistant coach wasn't there, and I had one of the team parents, Jen, just chip in and help out. I mean, it's huge. It's
Yeah.
huge. The
Lifesaver. And they want to do it.
generosity generation, right? So,
Yeah, it's definitely here. Definitely here and here to stay. And I think that's the biggest thing for everybody listening or watching this is that there are so many people in your sphere and there are so many people in your community who want to help, and all you've got to do is offer the opportunity. Hey, I need somebody to run the registration table at our event. It just needs to be somebody that's positive, optimistic, confident. Do you know somebody that could do that? If you sent that email out to your database, like when I sent it, I got like 20 people who respond. I thought nobody would respond. I got 20 people who volunteered to run the registration table. They want to help.
wow.
They want to jump in and they want to be a part of it. So it's just I think the biggest thing is that we've got to get over that and just realize
Right.
that our job is to oversee the event, not run the event. It's not to
Right.
run the registration table or be the photographer or be the who is not you. We need to be Princess Di. We need to be the captain, the conductor, not the tuba player. So I love that you embraced that and you really ran with it, right? All right. And then, so how many people filled out the door prize entry forms? Do you know? I'm guessing it
65.
was, yeah. So 65 were parents,
Yeah. I mean, I would say 90 to 95% of the people filled it out. Pretty
and you got to
amazing.
feel fantastic about that, right?
What, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So your
Yeah.
registration table person needs a raise, right? Or a fist
Yeah.
bump.
Yeah.
because they did a great job.
Right.
And it turned into three really good referrals for yourself and three really, or two, or another opportunity for your sponsors, and seven more seminar opportunities, right?
That was my
Uh,
babysitter. It was my daughter's babysitter. She's the one that
yeah,
did Gianna. Yeah.
love it. Love it. All right. And then, so what surprised you the most about hosting your first event using the event mastery model?
I'll continue that by answering what else did I do to implement. The post-event survey, I did not think would have gotten results. But man, I got 12 or 14 people to respond. And I asked them questions like, okay, um, what other events would you be interested in? What went really well at the event on a scale of 1 to 10? Where do I land for you? Whatever
Hmm.
the wording is on that question.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. I mean, that piece right there resulted in an additional referral for a sponsor, 4 referrals for me, and 13 more for seminars.
Yeah.
And then I
They're
know
in.
what type of events they want. So I think when you asked the question of what was I surprised about was how smart this system is. I really think it's intelligent.
Wait, Steve, I'm going to need you to repeat that. I'm just gonna go, we're going to make this into a reel or something. I might even make it into like my video that is on my page at the very beginning of every single Zoom. So,
Okay, well, I get royalties for that.
yeah, there you go. I'll take it. All good.
I
Yeah.
do. I think it's an intelligent system. I think it's very smart. I mean, you're truly a luminary in the business and you have years and years of experience with it. So to me, it was like, why wouldn't I follow it? And yeah, I just think it's a very smart. I think it's intelligent. I think it's not easy to do. It's
Yep.
simple, broken down in chunks.
Yeah, it's like a lot of things, right? It's not easy. It's simple. A lot of people are looking for easy, and there is no easy button in real estate. There isn't. There is nothing easy about this job. But what we can do is we can follow simple systems to make it a lot easier on us and our clients and the people around us. So I love that. What are the two or three things that you love the most that you learned or just really embraced throughout the 8 weeks of event mastery?
The invitation system.
Yeah,
Just taking that real seriously, using that as an opportunity. That's your lead gen time. That's your time to not just call and ju sometimes you don't know what to say when
that's
you
right.
call people. And so, but by inviting them, hey, did you get the invitation? Really excited, want you to be there. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have events for kids and for adults alike, and great barbecue. Just a fun time for you to connect with new people. It's an easy call, and it's an
Yeah.
easy text, and it's an easy voice text. So
That's why I
that
did it.
part I loved.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's why I did it, right? And that's you instantly go from I'm not sure what the heck to talk about. I don't
Yeah,
know where this conversation's going to I know exactly where this conversation's going to start. It's going to start with making sure they got the invitation and a verbal, either if they didn't get it, give them a verbal invitation, or if they got it, really let them know how much you want them to go, right? And
right,
then wherever the conversation goes from there is just icing on the cake, versus just trying to make something up or, like you try to do an equity report or ask if they want to, if they say yes, you get to do that once a year. They're not going to ask for an equity report 12 times a year, right?
right.
So, or you're calling for whatever other reasons there are to call, it gives you a great excuse to get into conversation and go from there. And I always was surprised at how many didn't see the email. They didn't see the invitation, or at
Yeah.
least they said they didn't see it, right? So it's just great to follow up with the text message and the voice text or voicemail, whatever you want to do, and the phone call. and get into that influential zone. We know the secret is to spend our time in the influential zone. So love that. All right. What are you going to do better next time?
Charity.
Oh,
That
you're going to, yeah.
that did not go well. It didn't go bad. It just I never got down to the charity to film the video. It I never really made that connection with the individual. Uh, I think that just with it being my first event, maybe I could have chosen not to do one piece. That would be it, and now implement it really well the next time. And then I would say sponsors. I don't think I did the best job with getting sponsors because again, I don't like the ask, which is weird
Hmm.
because I'm in sales. But I'm going to work on that, and I have success stories based off of this past event that I could share with them.
Yeah, you weren't sure. Like you weren't sure how it was going to go. You weren't sure. I say all the time, you're going to get referrals for the sponsors. But you're like, first time through, you're like, I'm not sure if I trust that, right? I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not, right? So now you know. Now you have ways to generate referrals for the sponsors. Now and now, you can add that charity piece on it. But I'm going to push it right back to you and say the who is not you. You need a charity liaison, somebody who's in
Mm.
charge of the charity piece of your next event, and let them
Okay.
just run with it. And then, it's going to go better than if you tried to do it on your own. Just make sure it's aligned, the charity's aligned with who you are and your community and that kind of thing, right?
Right. That's
But
a great point.
but I love that. All right. So there's somebody listening to this that is listening to Referrals podcast maybe for the first time,
Hmm.
and they haven't hosted an event yet. What words of wisdom or advice would you give them to for them to make sure that their first event is a success?
That's a great question. So without a doubt, sign up for Event Mastery, then clear time on your calendar to put into play the steps from it. And Michael, you and I are the same in this. I have always said every time I take a training, I always have implementation time after because I
Yep.
don't want to go to a training or I don't want to go to an open house or I don't want to go to something and not gain value from it. And the best way of gaining it is through the implementation afterwards. Uh, I know with your system, you always say build implementation time in right after a Zoom or, after a meeting. So I would say build that time in. I would probably say about an hour for the first 3 to 4 weeks of event mastery. Then you could probably dial back to a half hour, but then you just need to really just work the system week by week. Do not miss a class and come to both sessions because the Q&A the later that week is an opportunity for you to get the confusion, the cobwebs figured out.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
that. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. I appreciate that. This is so good, and man, congratulations and kudos on I think a big part is trusting. We say you've heard, I mean, everybody's talking about trust the process, trust the system, and yet a lot of people don't trust the process or trust the system because you just don't know. You just and I want to first of all say thank you for trusting me in the system and also having faith, right? Faith is fully anticipating it to happen. Like
Mm.
maybe you didn't fully anticipate it to happen to get sponsors for yourself and your sponsors, but you had enough faith that you implemented. And I think, people ask all the time, how can I get on Referrals podcast? How can I want to get, I've gotten referrals before, how do I get on the podcast? And the answer is implementation. It's implementation. Implement something, and it doesn't have to go perfect. Was your event perfect, Steve?
No, no.
Yeah, right. On a scale of 1 to 10, with one is it was awful, and 10 it was perfect. Where do you think it fit?
I'm always a seven with my like when I do those ratings. I would give it an 8.5 to a 9, truthfully. I think that the results were far greater than I expected. I just the fact that I showed up and didn't feel stressed and felt like I had the system in place, and I felt, yeah, I'd say a 9. We'll go 9 on
Yeah.
that, surprisingly.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe the limit isn't a 10, right? I mean, like on a scale of 1 to 10 for your first event, it was a dang good event,
Yeah, it
right?
was.
And you got 12 incoming referrals for yourself that you're working on now and you're following
Right.
up with, and you're doing the one-to-ones and you added 46 new advocates to your 150 that you already had. So lots of successes, and I just want to congratulate you and say great job on that. And I want to say thank you so much for being our guest here today on Referrals Podcast.
It was a lot of fun. Look forward to hopefully doing it again with you sometime. Thank you.
Absolutely. After your next event, let's have a
All right.
conversation about how it went, right?
Will do.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve McIlvaine came in and absolutely rocked it. I'm telling you, I mean, he's a DC. He's not an extrovert. He is not somebody that's out, entertaining and doing out in the public all the time. He is like a lot of us, maybe a little nervous about doing an event. He overcame the nervousness. He trusted the system, ran the system, and had a great success. 12 referrals at his very first event that he's ran through the event mastery system. Listen, referrals are guaranteed. You run the system, you're going to get referrals, but you're not just going to get referrals for you. You'll also get them for your sponsors as well. Check it out at eventmastery.com. I encourage you doing that today. Also, if this feels like a good way to do business, if you feel like you want to do business in a relational and transformational way instead of a transactional way, join us in the generosity generation. It's joingengen.com. It's a private group, joingengen.com. And this weekend, there were referrals truly transferred in that group and exchanged in that group this weekend. So we'd love to have you. Check it out when you get a second. Speaking of checking things out, do us a favor. If you like what you heard today, subscribe, hit the download button. Make sure that you share it with somebody who might want to run their next event. And just know how much we appreciate you here at Referrals Podcast. We will see you in the next episode of Referrals Podcast next time. I appreciate you. I love you. See you then.